Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the English with Gemma podcast. Today, I'm joined by my dog. He's about to jump on my lap. Come on, you can do it. He's a little scared. I think he just needs a little boost. All right, there he is. If you're watching the video, then you will see my dog, Tanky. He's sitting on my lap. He just really wanted to be involved today. The whole time that I was setting up this podcast, he was very upset that he was not on my lap. And now I think he's happy. And I don't know if you guys can see him from this angle, but if I do this, I'm lifting him up right now. I know. Oh, thank you. This is some aggressive licking of the face. Thank you, Tank. Hopefully he'll just lie down and oh, there he goes. Is he lying down? No. Anyways, he thinks he's a lap dog, but he is a Staffordshire Terrier, so he's actually not that small or that light. So when he sits on my lap, it's 40 pounds of just Tanky. Oh, I love you. I love you. I probably have fur on my hair on my lips now. That's okay. I forgot I was wearing lipstick. Anyways, let's get right into today's topic. Today, we are going to have a little chat about traveling. So, one of my main goals in life is to travel more, and I haven't really done that much traveling. So I definitely, sorry, I'm just readjusting because he's very heavy on my lap. Can you lie down, please? This is very chaotic. Now he's licking my legs. Can you not do that? That's gross. So traveling, something that I've always really wanted to do more of, and I've done a little bit. So I'm just going to talk kind of about my experiences, my favorite places that I've been to, and then maybe also the difference between traveling solo and traveling with friends, maybe some of the disadvantages and advantages of doing that. And hopefully, while you listen to this episode, you'll hear some cool expressions and phrasal verbs related to travel. And yeah, hopefully pick up a few things. So I've got some notes, as always, on my computer. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't really see the notes. But I'm just gonna try and read from very far away. So yeah, the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about was this idea of solo traveling and kind of what that means. Um, so obviously solo means traveling by yourself. And I know that a lot of people who solo travel sometimes will meet up with other people or they'll stay in hostels, which are cheaper kind of youth hotels. I'm sure everyone knows what a hostel is, but maybe you haven't heard that word before. But yeah, the only solo travel I've done myself. Oh, he's readjusting. Where are you going? Do you want to get down? Sorry, my dog doesn't know what he wants to do. He doesn't know where he wants to travel. He doesn't know if he wants to travel off of my lap or stay here. Are you staying? Yes, okay. So, yeah, solo travel. I recently, last year, I went to Alicante. That was really fun by myself. And then I guess my other solo travel would be to Manchester in the United Kingdom, but I don't think that really counts because I was going to visit friends and I had studied there already for 3 years in university, so I kind of already knew what I was going into, so it wasn't really scary or solo travel per se. Um, but I think the idea of traveling by yourself can sometimes be a bit daunting, a little bit scary. But ever since hello, mwah, I love you. Ever since I went to Alicante, I kind of got this new appreciation for solo travel because I think one of the main reasons why people do it, or at least what I found, was that you have such a different experience when you're by yourself because you're not with anyone who you know and you're kind of forced out of your comfort zone. And also, I think you're more likely to meet other people who are either solo traveling or like a group of people. When I went to Alicante, it was really fun because I remember there was one day I was sitting on the beach by myself, and I overheard two women speaking with British accents. And I can't remember what they were talking about, but somehow we struck up a conversation. And it turns out that they were both British Airways flight attendants. And one of them had even been multiple times on a flight working as a flight attendant to Bermuda. So she knew all about Bermuda, which for me was so exciting because being Bermudian, Bermuda is very small and it's not often that you meet someone who's been to Bermuda. So that was really cool. Um, and then on the same trip, another thing that happened, I met two other women, Americans this time, when I was hiking. If anyone is from Alicante or has been to Alicante, you'll know, I think it's called, oh, what's it called? Santa Barbara, maybe the castle. I can't remember, but there's this big castle on the top of like a hill. It's not quite a mountain, it's more like a hill. And you can hike up to the top. It's like a 10-minute easy, it's not even really a hike, it's just a walk, but it is, it's pretty steep. It's pretty uphill. And I was walking up this hill and, oh no, sorry. I was walking down the hill after I had explored the castle and everything. And it's all free, by the way. If you're ever in Alicante, definitely go up there because it's free. There's a really cool museum. It's a lot of fun. So, oh, bye. See you later. My dog just jumped off of my lap. He decided that it was time, which is kind of nice because my lap was hurting. Yeah, so if you're ever in Alicante, definitely do that because it's free. And yeah, I met these two American women and they were super nice walking on the way down. They didn't know any Spanish, and I overheard them trying to order a taxi to help them get down because one of the women had like a injury on her leg. I can't remember if it was her hip or her leg. Anyways, I saw them struggling to ask this taxi driver for help, so I translated for them and kind of got involved. And then they ended up actually deciding to walk down with me instead of getting the taxi, because I offered to carry some of their bags to help them make it easier for them. And it was really nice because we struck up a conversation. It turns out that they were actually on a cruise ship that had been all around Spain, and they were just stopped off in Alicante for like one night. And yeah, I told them all about my English with Gemma, that I was an English teacher. They asked me loads of questions and they asked about, what it was like living in Spain for 5 years. I asked them about their hometowns in America. And it was just so nice. And I know that if I hadn't been on my own, I wouldn't have met those, both times, the women on the beach and the women at the castle. I wouldn't have struck up a conversation because I probably would have been with my friends or like my ex-boyfriend or whatever. So yeah, I just think solo travel opens a lot of doors and opportunities, and it can be a little bit scary at times, but I think it's definitely worth it. And you can start easy, like what I did. It was not intimidating because it was in a country where I already knew, like Spain, obviously. So I didn't feel like super scared because I wasn't going anywhere crazy or different. And I just hopped on the train from Madrid to Alicante. It was like a 3-hour train. I stayed in a hostel, actually, but I got a private room because I didn't really want to share with people, to be honest. I didn't want that much of a solo travel experience where you're sharing rooms with other people. I definitely think it's a great option if you're looking to meet people and socialize within your hostel, then definitely look into getting a shared room. I would just say be careful if you're a woman traveling solo. Of course, some of my tips, which are obvious, like don't walk around late at night by yourself, don't go to any places without researching it first. Be careful about your belongings, your purse, money, wallet. You don't want to get that stuff stolen. Be careful about hostels. You might want to look into getting a female only room rather than sharing with men, but it's like totally whatever you're comfortable with. I'm just personally very paranoid and very safe when I travel by myself. Um, and then like another thing that I did was when I went to the beach, I made sure that I didn't bring like my key card. Sorry, I brought my key card for my room. I made sure I didn't bring my credit card or any like big amount of money. And then I got this really cool thing. I got this little pouch that you put your phone and anything else that you want in it. It's waterproof and it goes around your neck. And then so when I was on the beach and I wanted to go swimming, I just shoved all my belongings in this little pouch, this waterproof case, and I just took it in the water with me to make sure that no one took my stuff on the beach. So, just like little tips and tricks like that are definitely good for keeping safe while you solo travel. So what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, like overcoming challenges, like some of the fears and challenges that I had to overcome when I decided to travel by myself. I just have a lot of anxiety surrounding like the unknown. So if I'm going into an unknown situation, I feel very anxious. And the way that I combated that was I just did a lot of research, pre-organized everything, like my taxis, my train, my accommodation, where I was going to eat. I picked out the restaurants beforehand. I planned in my head, like, okay, on this day, I'm going to eat this meal. And on this day, I'm going to visit this place. So I just didn't leave anything like up in the air, which means, leaving anything to chance or not pre-planning. I just pre-planned everything because that's just the type of person that I am, and that's what I need to do to feel safe and to kind of get over my fear of the unknown. I know like a lot of people will probably be fine just solo traveling and being chill and being free and doing whatever and spontaneous stuff. Hi, do you want to come sit back on my lap? Sorry, we need to take a moment to figure out what my dog wants to do with his life right now. Hi, my sweet little boy. Do you want to come sit on my lap again? Come on. Come on then. Oh, here he comes. Up, up. Yes. Come on then. You want to come back? Oh my God, you're so heavy. Jesus. Oh, okay. He's back. Maybe he can say something into the microphone. Say something. Say something, Tanky. Go on. Say something into the microphone. Can you guys hear him sniffing? Probably not. So yeah, just overcoming challenges with solo travel. That's something that I kind of wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, another thing that I wanted to chat about a little bit was my travel my trip that I took also in Spain. I visited Valencia with my friend Anastasia, and I miss her so much. She's back in Spain. She's in Madrid right now, and I'm in Bermuda, so I really miss her. And I was just kind of reminiscing on that trip the other day. And yeah, we just spent like, was it 2 or 3 nights? I think it was 3 nights we spent in Valencia, and we got a really cute Airbnb. The only problem was that the Airbnb was not in a very central location, and it also wasn't close to the beach. However, it was cheap. So I think it was about like 100 euros a night. It had a kitchen, washer, dryer, shower, obviously. But like it was really nice is what I'm trying to say. Um, but it wasn't in a great location. The location was a little bit sketchy. However, I was with a friend, so I felt pretty safe. Um, we definitely did not walk around alone at night. We took taxis and stuff like that. One thing about Valencia that was weird was the taxi situation. I found it really difficult to get taxis, and like they don't have Uber. So I don't know if you guys in your countries have Uber, but like in Spain, it's pretty standard to have Uber, but they didn't have it in Valencia, which I found really weird. So you had to find like, you just had to hail a taxi from the street, which was challenging at times, especially when we were in more like remote locations, like near the beach. That was a bit tricky. So that's something to think about if you're ever visiting Valencia. One day we tried to take the bus and then the bus broke down or there was something obstructing the road. I can't remember quite the situation. I do actually have a vlog on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out called Valencia Vlog or something like that. And that includes the whole bus situation. I just can't remember right now, but we ended up getting kicked off that bus. And then we had to walk so many kilometers to get to our destination. I think we were going to brunch or something. And I ended up breaking my foot. It was a stress fracture just from walking. And I remember saying to my friend Anastasia, like, ooh, my foot really hurts. The whole trip, I was just in so much pain. And then when I got back to Madrid, it turns out that I actually was walking on a broken foot and I had a stress fracture. So that was, yeah, I don't know how that really happened, but it did. So I know it sounds like my Valencia trip was negative, but it wasn't. It was an amazing trip. Our Airbnb was out of the city center, but it had the advantage of being close to the aquarium and the museum. Sorry, my dog is jumping down again. Goodbye. Bye. See you later. Why don't you go on the couch? Go to the couch. Go on. Go lie down. Because you're like up and down and up and down. You can't just keep jumping up and down. You're ruining the vibes. You're ruining the flow of the podcast, Tank. Go lie down. Go lie down. Go on. Go to bed. Go to bed. Bed. He's like, no, please, Mom. I just want to hang out with you. Good boy. You going to bed? Lie down. Lie down. Good boy. So yeah, Valencia was really cool. The museum and the aquarium were amazing. The city center is beautiful. Didn't spend too much time in the center, like I said. We were mostly at the beach and then the aquarium and stuff because we only had 2 days. But yeah, that was a really great trip. And then yeah, another trip I wanted to talk about was my trip last year to Manchester, United Kingdom, obviously. That's where I went to university and I visited some friends. And that technically was a solo trip because I went there by myself, but I'm very used to traveling in airports and catching flights on my own. So that wasn't really a solo trip because I met up with all my uni friends. I stayed with a friend from uni. So, it doesn't really count as a solo trip. But that was a great trip. The weather was actually nice for once in England, which if any of you have spent a substantial amount of time in the UK, you will know that the weather is not normally nice there. But it was great. The weather was nice. It rained, obviously, for a few days because it's England. Oh, I do remember one thing about that trip that was crazy. It was probably the worst like flight of my life. The turbulence was really, really bad. And I remember, I think it was it a Ryanair flight? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a Ryanair flight. No hate against Ryanair. It's a great budget airline. I think if you're traveling on a budget, great option. But I don't know why. Recently on TikTok, I've seen a lot of videos of Ryanair flights having really bad landings, like really rough landings. And I remember the turbulence the entire flight was so bad. We were shaking and even at some points dropping. Like I could feel, that feeling in your stomach when the plane drops. Ugh, I hate that feeling. But it was like that the whole time. And one of my students actually is a private pilot in training. So I'm actually teaching aviation English and I love it. And I love talking to my student because he tells me all sorts of really cool stuff about planes, how they work, how they actually fly, what it's like being a pilot, physics and aerodynamics. And that's one of the reasons why I love my job so much. I have so many interesting conversations because so many of my students are doing cool stuff, like getting their private pilot's license. So all that to say, I know now that turbulence is not like dangerous, and a plane has never crashed from turbulence alone. So every time there's really bad turbulence, I try to remind myself of that. Obviously, it doesn't feel nice in your body and it's scary, but you just have to remember that turbulence is not actually dangerous. However, after a very turbulent flight, we're coming into Manchester Airport to land. And I remember thinking to myself, this is going to be a bumpy landing because I could tell that there were crosswinds, which means like winds coming from both directions, because the plane, as we were coming into land, was rocking back and forth. And we were approaching the runway to land. And I remember the pilot like tried to land, and then we like almost touched the ground, but then he pulled back up and then the plane went off, and he said that he had to go back around and try again. And yeah, so that's when you know it's bad weather conditions, when your plane tries to land, but then they have to try again. Anyways, it was probably one of the most stressful, bad landings of my life, but I got there in one piece. Are you serious? Oh, come on. He's back, everybody. He's back to sit on my lap. Come on, 1, 2, 3. Ugh. Oh, great. And his face is soaking wet because he just drank water. Thank you, my love. Now I'm just wet. Gross. Gross, gross, gross. Okay. Are you comfortable? Can you guys hear him? He's like, stop that. Nobody wants to hear that on the podcast. Nobody wants to hear your gross noises. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but he's being so gross. He's like, we call that smacking your lips. Smacking your lips. That's what he's doing. So that was my Manchester story about my bad flight. Do I have any other stories, or do I want to keep this short? Let me keep this short today. I think that was a good length because I have a lot more travels that I want to talk about, like Italy and what else? Disneyland. Oh my God, my Disneyland trip was so much fun. But I want to keep those for future episodes because, like I said, I haven't really traveled to that many places. So I want to keep some of the places secret and the stories so that I can use those stories maybe in future episodes. So yeah, I think in conclusion, I mean, there was no moral of the story today. It was kind of just a ramble episode, just a talking episode. But I saw on YouTube that you guys like those types of episodes and you enjoy just listening to me talk. I have no idea why, but I'm really glad that you're enjoying that. I think people just like natural English and they just want to hear, like a native speaker and pick up some new phrases and stuff in a way that's not, hopefully, not boring and is interesting for you. So yeah, today there's no real moral of the story. I think the conclusion is just I want to travel more, solo travel more. Hopefully you learned, if you're a woman, you learned some good safety tips for traveling solo. I think they were pretty self-explanatory and obvious, but hey, maybe you learned something new. And I mean, even if you're a man, still stay safe. Like solo traveling when you're in a place that you don't know and maybe you don't speak the language, people can take advantage of you and you need to be careful and keep your wits about you. To keep your wits about you means to be aware all the time and to be vigilant and make sure you're paying attention so that nobody robs you or does anything bad to you. So that's it today, you guys. I think when will this be posted? Oh, this will be posted after my birthday. My birthday's tomorrow. What am I doing? Actually, yeah, that's nice. That's a nice way to end the episode. I'll tell you my little birthday plans. It will be not relevant anymore by the time this episode comes out, but that's fine. So today is Wednesday, April 17th, the day that I'm recording. Tomorrow will be Thursday, the 18th, which is my actual birthday. So my boyfriend and I are taking the day off work and we are going to just kind of hang out, maybe take Tanky for a walk. Oh, not right now. Oh no, I just said the WALK word and his ears perked up. Not right now, my love. Not right now. Tomorrow we go for a walk. Uh-oh, I said it again. Tomorrow we go for a WALK. I'm glad that dogs can't spell because he definitely knows English. He knows a lot of words. And sometimes if I say TREAT or WALK, he starts to get all excited. So yeah, I think on Thursday, just hanging out. It's supposed to be beautiful weather. Today is gorgeous, super sunny. So tomorrow's supposed to be similar. And then Friday, I'm going to get a tattoo. I'm getting a floral half sleeve on my right arm. So I'm going to do that. Oh, I think my boyfriend also mentioned that he booked me in for an acupuncture appointment. I've never had acupuncture before, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be nice and relaxing. So that's Thursday, Friday, just kind of chilling with my boyfriend, taking those 2 days off work. Oh my God. Tank, Tank just burped right into the microphone. I don't know if you guys heard that, but he just went, "Ugh." You're disgusting. You're disgusting. The people aren't going to want to watch or listen to the podcast if you're burping into the microphone. That's gross. This is so funny that he's been here this whole time. I hope that you can see him on the camera. I don't know if it's is it too low? Can you guys, can you guys see it? For the listeners, I'm lifting his little arms. I'm lifting his little arms in the air. He's just sitting here like this. He's so funny. He doesn't even care. He's not even moving. I'm literally lifting his paws into the air and he's just chilling. Okay, now he cares. What was I saying? Saturday, I'm doing nothing during the day, but I'm having dinner with my stepmom and dad and little brother and little sister and older sister at a nice hotel. And then Sunday, my sister's hosting a family get together at her house for me. So I'm doing like 4 days of activities for my birthday, and that's the most. I'm turning 27. It's not like I'm turning 30 or anything big. Not yet, at least. I still have a couple more years. But yeah, I don't normally do this much for my birthday, but because I'm actually home in Bermuda, it's going to be really nice to spend all that time with my family because normally I would be in Spain during this time of year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Anyways, thank you so much if you're still listening. Thank you for listening to today's ramble. Let me know in the comments, either on Spotify or YouTube, what's your favorite place that you've ever traveled to and why? Let's keep it simple. Like, you can add more than one place if you want. Tell me about as many places as you want. But the question will just be, what is your favorite place that you've ever traveled to and why? What was so special or amazing about it? I'm really looking forward to reading those comments. So please, please, please comment. I love reading all of them. Also, any suggestions on destinations or places that I should add to my bucket list, that which means like a list of places that you want to travel to or a list of things you want to do. So yeah, any suggestions or your favorite places that you've been to. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and until next week, happy learning. Bye.